following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA network and our review show here of NWA Hard Times 2, baby.
Are we doing some hard time?
I'm one of your hosts with the fucking most on the West Coast, Karlifornia Fury, alongside my co-host, Jooseyboy. What's going on, bro?
Not a lot, my friend. We are here. We are burning the midnight oil, as they say. We've just gotten through watching this tremendous show, NWA Hard Times 2.
Yeah,
and,
bro.
Here we are, ready to chop it up for the fine folks.
Fuck yeah, bro. Yeah, it's 12:30 in the morning now, but
so sick, man.
We're here live and in living color, bro. And mate, okay, NWA Hard Times 2, DJ. We reviewed NWA 73. Unfortunately, we missed out on reviewing by any means necessary, but we're back here reviewing NWA Hard Times 2. I'm just going to go over some results on the pre-show that we did not watch because 3 hours is long enough, and if we watched that, we would have been up until fucking God knows what time. But Matthew Mims defeated Jax Dane. Women's World Tag Team Championship, the NWA Women's World Tag Team Championship was a fatal four-way match. The Hex defeated Missa Kate and Natalia Markova, and Kylie Ray and Tootie Lynn and Paola Blaze and Genocide. Whatever. And of course, a match that I hoped was on the pay-per-view, which didn't end up being, which is disappointing. There was a World Junior Heavyweight Championship qualifying gauntlet match where Homicide defeated Alex Taylor, Arid Davari, C.W. Anderson. I don't know how he's a junior heavyweight. Darius Lockhart, Jeremiah Plunkett, Jamie Stanley, Kerry Morton, Luke Hawks, PJ Hawks, Sal Renoro, Victor Benjamin, and Ricky Morton, which is very disappointing. I would have liked to have seen Ricky Morton out there too. But
yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Sorry, everyone, we did not watch the pre-show. Let's get into it here, bro. I'm going to let you take this one. The very first match on this show, Rhett Titus taking on Austin Aries.
That's right. Addicted to Love, Rhett Titus, a guy that was, he's obviously come over from Ring of Honor. This show tonight featured a lot of Ring of Honor talent. Ring of Honor, of course, has shut down operations for the foreseeable near future with the intention to open back up at some point, some undetermined point in the future. And we saw a lot of Ring of Honor talent here. Rhett Titus has been a Ring of Honor mainstay for years. If anyone's ever heard that famous Jim Cornette rant about Kenny King, Rhett Titus was his tag team partner who was his co-Ring of Honor tag team champion at the time that all this went down, and was kind of screwed over by that whole business with Kenny King and Ring of Honor and TNA. So that's a little background, but in his own right, fantastic wrestler. And I was pleasantly surprised to see he was taking on Austin Aries. Again, another Ring of Honor mainstay. I do believe he is currently signed by Ring of Honor. These two have wrestled before. I've watched them wrestle in Ring of Honor when they were a bit younger, say about 10 years ago or something. The experience definitely shows that they're now just such seasoned veteran wrestlers in there. They definitely took their time with everything. I like the fact that there was a lot of submissions. There was a lot of actual wrestling in this. It wasn't really like a slugfest type of a match or a brawl. It was definitely like, let's go out there and see if we can just have a great match. And that's definitely the vibe that I got. You know, the ring is our canvas. Let's create some art here. And, I really liked it. And I'm going to give it a B+. I thought it was a really enjoyable opener between two guys that I'm a longtime fan of.
Good stuff, bitch. Yeah, good opening contest for the show. I was disappointed about the crowd, man. That was my main thought was, we watched NWA 73. It was a nice little crowd that they had at the Chase in St. Louis.
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere.
I'm not expecting them to be at the Chase every time, of course, but it would have been nice for this to have had a crowd that surrounded the ring at least. And we will talk a bit about that as we move through the show. But nice little matchup. One note I had was Rhett Titus, just do a bulldog, bro.
Yeah,
You
man.
didn't even jump up and do a little thingy or whatever you fucking did. Just hit a bulldog.
It was that weird flipping cartwheely thing that he did that just seemed like
just bulldog him. Just hit a bulldog.
It didn't seem like it made the bulldog any more devastating or impactful to add that little gesture in.
Exactly, bro. And look, not much else to add. It was a good little match, good finish, like the Brainbuster. Nice way to open the show. Perfect match to open the show. Moving forward, Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, foregone conclusion, bro. We know that Stevens and Kratos are not walking away with the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, but I guess OGK need to get a title defense in here and there because, as we know, after Final Battle in December, ROH are on hiatus. So it's tragic stuff, but obviously OGK has one Mike Bennett in the team. Look, I'm just going to say it, okay? Anytime that Mike Bennett shows up, bring out Maria. I'm sure everywhere he goes, it's like, hey, man, how you doing? Where's Maria? I don't have many notes on this either. This was a good little match, but we knew who was going to win, so I wasn't that invested. But the referee, the man bun. No man buns, please, bro. Okay? No man buns. Just have a ponytail. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with the man bun. Finish was okay, but, you know, I think you're a little more disappointed with it, bro. What did you think?
Yeah, I do think that the finish ended up falling kind of a bit flat. I think that it needed a little bit more heat on it. I am very much invested in the act as a duo of Aron Stevens and Kratos. And in general, I think that Aron Stevens, since coming to the NWA way back during his alliance with The Question, you know, all the way back then to now, I just think he has been doing some of the best work of his career. And I honestly, I know they can't win the Ring of Honor tag titles, but it's like, I wish that they would just be the NWA tag team champions and just have a long dominant reign with it, because I feel like they do some of, you know, I don't know what it is about them. It just works. The odd couple kind of pairing. There's just something about it. You know, I can't even really articulate it in words, but yeah, when they're sort of working together in the ring, there's something about the dynamic between them, the contrast between them that I think like works really well. And it, yeah, weirdly creates this sort of strange, odd pairing that I think really plays really well against other teams, especially if those teams are much more unified, as a lot of teams in NWA are. They all have their coordinated outfits and their you know, they actually have people that operate as tandems. And here in this case, you have Aron Stevens and Kratos that kind of break that rule a little bit, but they're the exception that proves the rule, I think. And yeah, I don't think that the match was all that special, beyond the fact that I really enjoy the chemistry between those two, as I just described. But I do think that it was a serviceable match. You know, probably give it a C minus.
Excellent, bro. You know what? One little tidbit I'd add there to that tag team of Kratos and Aron Stevens. I'd bring in April Hunter as their manager, because I know her and Aron have a podcast together called The A Show. I would definitely bring in April Hunter to manage them, because I just think the more good-looking women on the show, the better. But also, it might be a nice little dynamic, you know?
It could kind of complete the package a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think the package is incomplete right now. Moving forward, Colby Corino. This is the first time I've ever seen the son of the king of old school, Steve Corino, performing on a show. He takes on our boy, Douglas Williams, my friend. Man, I can't wait. Hopefully one day we'll get him on the Insider's Edge podcast. But, bro, nice technical match. Your thoughts?
Yeah, once again, I mean, I thought like it was tremendous seeing Douglas Williams out there. He was in just tremendous shape. I like the idea of getting this new second generation kid, but he's a young kid. I think he's only like 19, 20, somewhere around there. And they're getting him in there with this old school, late 40s, latter part of his career, veteran of the British and international wrestling scene. Obviously, a lot of fans would know him well from his time in TNA wrestling some years ago. But yeah, so I thought right on the face of it, before they even did anything in the match, tremendous match to have on a card. We need more of this, the clash between the old school and the new school. This is how you build the stars of tomorrow. You put them in the ring with people that really know what they're doing. You know, here you've got Colby Corino, who, yes, he's the son of Steve Corino, so maybe some wrestling's in his blood. He's been around wrestling and stuff his whole life. But Douglas Williams has been wrestling for as long as Colby Corino is alive, possibly even longer. So, you know, they need more of it in AEW. But I mean, I think even if they try to do it over there, they probably wouldn't do it right. Here it was done right. They didn't try to what I want to say, push this kid in the deep end, so to speak. It was a nice, simple, you know, basic match, but it was telling a story. I personally, you know, don't think that Colby should have actually won the match. I think you'll probably agree with me there. I think, okay, you want the young upstart kid to upset the veteran. I think that Douglas Williams, he's not really been in NWA for ages before showing up here for this match. You know, give him the win with the rolling German suplex for fuck's sake, and then establish him with a couple of wins before you go and give Colby the win. I think Douglas Williams all the way should have won. It was a wrong result, and I think it fell a little bit flat for me towards the end, but I'd have to give it still a C+. I thought it was a good little match, and I thought Colby Corino actually held his own rather well.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. I think, you know, seeing Colby beat Douglas here means nothing to me. But seeing Douglas beat him and then seeing Colby beat him down the line, that means a little bit more. I would have liked to have seen him fight, you know, even though he's the heel, fight from under in order to figure out a way to beat this fucking veteran of the wrestling business. But some good technical shit in this match. Moment of the show, not match of the show. Moment of the show was the suicide dive attempt from Colby Corino that was just cut off with that sick European uppercut that looked like he fucking knocked him.
Boom.
Boom. It was sick, bro. There was also a nice tiger bomb, not a tiger driver, tiger bomb. Colby wins thanks to the tag team at ringside. It might help if I had seen any NWA power to know the relationship between him and that tag team, but you know.
And I think I also just want to, we've got to mention that the fixes on the outside, again, I'm going to be commenting on it several times throughout this review, bro. And I think you'll agree, teams, once again, acting in tandem, dressed in tandem, immediately, you know that they're a team. Their job is to be some kind of enforcer, you know, hired goons for Colby Corino. Boom. Right off the bat. I wanted to say that, you know, they had a good presence out there. I like that they didn't get them overly involved in the match either, but the camera just kept cutting to them so that the audience is thinking, okay, these guys are there. They can become a factor at any time. Sorry, just wanted to throw that in there.
That's fine. Good point, you tosser. Coming up next, bro, another foregone conclusion. All right. We know Kiera Hogan isn't going to beat Mickie James. Yeah. Impact Knockouts Championship on the line. Some nice, solid wrestling in this matchup. I like the only time. Look, the crowd was a bit of a problem, right? Because it was rather quiet, and you know, but these girls did a great job in vocalizing and trash talking and talking during the match, and I really like that aspect of it. You know, not once on this show, actually, did you hear anyone fucking calling a spot when you probably could have. So this is a real credit to everyone that was so professional on this show to be able to, whatever they did call, no one fucking heard it. But when it was time to talk, and it happened later on with Kamille and a whole bunch of other people, but hearing them talk during the match, it gave a sense of like it being a real situation. I did think the match went a little bit too long. Mickie does go over, of course. And I'm going to let you take it from here, bro. What did you think of the Impact Knockouts Championship match between Hardcore Control and Kiera Hogan?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I think I'll touch on it a couple of times throughout the review, but once again, here we see the Impact Women's title on the line here on this NWA show.
I think you touched on it quite a few times, but continue.
No, but It kind of reminds me of like going back to the territory days, because now you can actually have this title from another organization defended here, and you've got all this influx of free agents that have come from WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor now, wherever they've come from. And so I really like that about NWA, that they are actually poaching a lot of different people from all different backgrounds and bring them all together. So here we've got this women's title match. I kind of agree with you. It dragged on a fraction for my liking,
A little bit.
but I also think that this was probably Kiera Hogan's best match that I've seen her have so far since I've been aware of her. Yeah, I thought that she did fantastic. I thought this match was hard hitting. I thought Mickie James, as always, looked absolutely tremendous. Definitely had some spring in her step for this match. You could tell that they were both really into it and, you know, working up a sweat. And I'd probably give this a B-. I think, once again, Mickie James continues to be one of the top 3 female performers in the business overall today.
Yeah, she's firing on all cylinders, bro. And I guess it's nice. I'm sure Kiera Hogan was into this match because it's not a fucking 7-minute match on AEW Dark. I don't know why they signed her. Like, Impact Wrestling were using her a heap, apparently. And then she signed with AEW, and then they've not done one thing with her.
They never use her, and she's got star written all over her, bro. There's definitely something there that I can imagine her being like one of the WWE women's wrestlers. I can totally see her on merchandise and, you know, hanging out with kids and stuff at meet and greet events and stuff like that. You know, I can totally see that. I don't understand it either, man.
That's it. And that booty fine, bro.
That's right, yeah. Helps that she's also quite a looker as well.
One thing, speaking of looking, one thing we saw throughout the show, front row, was with that bitch on that bitch in the front row on her phone the whole fucking show.
So, all right. So
she's probably a really nice woman.
Hang on, man. Hang on.
That bitch on her phone, bro.
So Carl mentioned it earlier, the fact that this event took place from the NWA studios in Atlanta.
Atlanta, GA.
Normally they have the one side of the studio is the bleachers where the crowd is. And, you know, we saw that it wasn't at full capacity. Like, first of all, there's only one side that's, you know, got the bleachers to begin with. And then as it was, only about a third of that was full. I don't know if it was because of some COVID regulation.
It was the middle, but the left and the right-hand side, sorry to cut you off, they were completely empty. What the fuck is going on over there with the COVID?
So they also, it wasn't really spread out. It was weirdly all confined just to that middle. And not only did that contribute to there not really being enough noise at times, especially for the, you know, the quality of the performances we were seeing, but also you could see each individual audience member and like learn them by their clothes and sort of like get used to seeing them as you went along watching the show. And there was this one middle-aged woman in the very front row with a phone with a bright red phone case on it that was just constantly
the whole show.
The entire show, every time the hard cam would cut back to the side where you could see the crowd, you'd just see this.
Yeah, dude, I would have given her a stern talking to afterward and said, look, next time the phone's confiscated.
And look, far be it from us to criticize what somebody does when they spend money on a ticket or whatever. But if you're going to be in the front row directly facing the hard cam, it's not a great look for the product that you're fucking sitting there like this.
Exactly.
And I saw that they had a VIP tag and an NWA 73 shirt. So they either know somebody that's involved in the show as a family member, or they're like a super fan and they're a big fan of the product. Either way. So I don't understand why they would want to make the NWA look like a bad product. But if you look like you're bored texting on your phone every fucking time the camera cuts to you, it's a bit of a downer when you're actually fucking watching it at home.
Yeah, it annoys us living over here in Perth. We would like to go to the show. We would like to be in the front row. And we would have fucking loved it, bro. Dude.
My phone would have been turned off.
I go to a show, I don't touch my fucking phone. I never touch my phone.
It would have been turned off. I would have been in the front row just cheering, man, like just trying to get the wrestlers' attention in like a good way, not an annoying way, trying to get them to pop for my chants and stuff. Like engaged in the show, in other words.
Like I bring my phone out if I wanted to take one picture or something like that.
That's right.
Like, oh, Kamille is right in front of me. I better take a picture because I love her. Okay, let's move forward, bro. Okay.
Clearly, like
what? Clearly, what?
On the red wine, man. Like on the red wine. All right, let's move.
Right here, bro. All red all night long. Okay, NWA World Television Championship. I like that too, bro. I like that. The NWA Television Championship on the line. Tyrus takes on Cyon.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
Look, I haven't been following the product closely enough recently to actually know what this program or feud between these two going in is. But Cyon is like this big jacked up dude that wears a wrestling mask, like an old school style one. And Tyrus wants to unmask him, find out who it is. That's kind of the overarching story. They've had an issue. It was a good little hype package that kind of was short and sweet, didn't overstay its welcome, didn't take fucking 10 minutes of dramatic music to unfold. It just showed us what was going on so that we knew what was happening coming into the match. Wanted to point that out. That was really well done. Match begins. As it was beginning, man, I was honestly, for the first 5 minutes or so, not really into it, man. I was kind of thinking, this is going to be a bit slow and plodding. Brodus Clay, we know he has some explosive movement here and there, but he's never been the fastest big man ever. And I was just thinking this was going to be slow and plodding. Man, as it went along, though, geez, the story that they told, it ended up getting me hooked. I mean, we had it actually, once again, man, it felt like a fight. It felt like, okay, Cyon on his end, he wants to vanquish the monster here, and he wants his identity to remain a secret and not be unmasked. And obviously, Tyrus wants to unmask him, find out who it is, dominate him. He's accompanied by Austin Idol and everything, of course, as well. The whole presentation, the whole act worked really well for me. I felt like the payoff towards the end of the match with the big bump onto the chairs was sickening looking, but absolutely brutal and tremendous, and the kind of thing that you want for a spot like that when it's going to be set up. And, it was exactly the right level of like hardcore violence that was just enough to satiate that craving as a fan, but not so much that you were like, oh, it's just getting old, because they didn't throw everything under the kitchen sink into it. They just some nice chair shots, a couple of gnarly bumps here and there, but they didn't try to go a mile a minute with just trying to top the last thing that they did, trying to make it more and more dangerous for the fucking sake of it. And yeah, that about wraps up my thoughts. I would once again give this the classic DJ B-. I really enjoyed this match as well, and it pleasantly surprised me by the end.
Yeah, great build-up package. We forgot to mention the Pope was the referee.
That's right.
So that was a good part of the story of the matchup. I like Tyrus with his entourage there. Popped for Black G's, even though I'm sure he was there in NWA 73. But I forget sometimes what's going on. Yeah, and also you made a really good point during the match that the commentators aren't, Tim, Velvet and Joe, they're not the greatest team of all time, not by any stretch, but they let the fucking show breathe. They don't fucking step all over each other the whole fucking time. It's just nice and simple. They let the fucking wrestling speak for itself, and they chime in when it's time to chime in. Yes,
and they did get better. They did improve as well between
absolutely
73 and this show.
And yes, there is a nice story being told here as the match is moving on. But bro, I tried, but man, Tyrus is fucking boring, man. Like I get it. He's a big guy. He's slow. He's methodical. That's fine. But fuck, sometimes I just thought, dude, you can move a little bit quicker when you're walking around. You can move a little bit quicker when you're trying to set something up. You can move a little bit quicker. Like I get it. He's a big guy, but fuck, it just at one stage I was like, you know what, that's it, man. Like it's too slow. Like let's quicken it up a little bit. You know, I get it. You're a big guy, but this is the television championship. There's 15-minute time limit. Yes, I know that the champion doesn't have to be beaten. You know what I mean? I mean, sorry, he doesn't have to beat him. He has to be beaten. But fuck, man, I just thought he was just too plodding along with this fucking thing. And some of these spots just took too long to get to. Powerbomb through the table was nice. Yes, the chair spot was nice too. And, you know, of course, Tyrus's finish is a fucking heart punch because, you know, you're not going to fucking put a lot of effort into running around during the match. Then you finish.
I didn't mind, dude. I didn't mind him having the heart punch.
It's fine. The heart punch is fine, bro. It's just like it was a good match, but man, I just fucking
I know what you mean. He's a little bit very much like the '70s brand of big man. You know, a lot of trudging and not very much falling. Except for a couple of times.
At one stage he had Cyon in the corner and he charged him with an avalanche, and I was like, okay, well he's got a little bit of pace to him. How about we pick up the pace a little bit when you're fucking stalking him and walking around? And it just you know, I don't like to be too critical on people that don't. I like to be critical on people that do too much and go too quickly and don't sell shit. But when you go on that slow, then I've got a bit of an issue. But anyway, move forward. I don't even know if I had mentioned this to you beforehand. And I don't know if it was just a nice surprise to you or not, but Carl Davis is at the announce table and he brings out the one and only Mick Foley. What did you think?
Oh, man, loved it. A+ for Mick's appearance. It was a fun little promo. I like that Mick actually wove some personal history into the little promo that he cut. Yeah. Once again, you know, the man knows how to like work a room. Didn't overstay his welcome. The whole thing probably went for about 45 seconds to a minute, somewhere around there. Boom. Nice little appearance from him. He kind of teased, oh, you might see me later on. So now it's like sick. We might see Mick Foley appear later on. Awesome. Let's move on. Loved it. Loved how short and sweet it was. Loved the Christmas shirt that Mick was wearing. Loved the whole thing.
But if you're going to celebrate Christmas with any wrestling personality, that's the guy to bring in. Unfortunately, Santa Claus can't be brought in at this stage. But
no, unfortunately.
I will say Kyle Davis was chuffed. You could tell this guy was so fucking thrilled that he was just holding that mic for Mick, and everything that Mick said, and he'd bring up this and bring up that, and told that great story of Arn Anderson ripping into him backstage when he hit that elbow drop, that 17-foot elbow drop. And you can just see like Kyle popping for all the stories.
Winning from ear to ear, man.
Yeah, man. Happy for that guy. Happy for him. Moving forward, NWA National Heavyweight Championship on the line. The former Chris Masters, Chris Adonis, took on Judias with the one and only Sinister Minister at ringside. I will go through my notes very quickly. Again, bro, the woman was on her phone the whole fucking match. Christ. It was a bit slow in plotting this matchup. I thought to myself, we need a palate cleanser after this. This is when I was hoping they were going to bring out that junior heavyweight gauntlet that was on the pre-show. But still, as the match wore on, I really liked the story that was being told. I'm really getting into Chris Adonis and seeing him perform and showing that he's still able to do it at a high level. Really enjoyed the finish too. It was a huge win as far as I'm concerned for Adonis to have Judias pass out to the Master Lock. But the only thing I'm concerned with, and look, I'm not like a massive fan of Judias. I wasn't when he was in TNA. I kind of always thought he was a little bit clumsy. But I kind of feel like he could very well be like the Lance Archer of NWA, where he's going to get into these big situations, but he's never going to be able to come up with the goods. So I don't know what they can do with him booking-wise to keep him be that monster, but also not have him take the spots that are given to people like a Chris Adonis, who's probably going to draw more eyeballs in him, or a Trevor Murdoch, who's going to draw more eyeballs in him. So that's just a little tidbit I wanted to throw in there. What did you think of this one here, bro? I mean, we're big fans of Chris Adonis, right?
Yeah, man, definitely. But I wasn't a huge fan of the former Judas Messias. I wasn't a huge fan of his performance at NWA 73. It's not because I think he's a terrible wrestler. I certainly enjoyed some of his matches with Abyss back in TNA. I love seeing the Sinister Minister there, especially after that Dark Side of the Ring Canyon episode. It's good to see him back performing because everyone knows that he's just a stick cunt who's watched that documentary. But you know what? Once again, pleasantly surprised by Judas throughout this match. Chris Adonis, I expected this kind of performance from him, but I really loved the fact that, okay, you've got these two guys that are physically very big, and they actually believably wore each other down to the point where I wasn't quite sure who was going to win by the end of it. I could have credibly believed either guy winning. I was expecting Chris Adonis to pick up the win as the most likely outcome, but they did a good job of actually keeping me on my toes. As you said, I very much agree with you that it should go down as a big win. It wasn't just that he made him pass out to the master lock. It was also the fact that he had to really wear him down to get him into the master lock. He tried to put it in a couple of occasions beforehand, before the finish, wasn't able to do it just because of the massive size of his opponent. And so even just getting it locked in, let alone making him pass out, was a battle in itself. I love the story that they told. I thought that even in a loss, Judas, came out of this looking really good. I thought he had a great performance here. And I'm giving this match an A-, man. I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a great showcase for Chris Adonis, especially.
Excellent. Moving forward, bro, the NWA World Tag Team Championship. It's a rematch from NWA 73. It's the former champions, The End, taking on La Rebelión. I'm pretty sure that was the match at NWA 73, but anyway, I'm positive.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, actually. Maybe they might have been against Kratos and Aron Stevens.
Yeah,
my bad.
So. Might have been, was it a triple threat, bro? Might have been like a multi-person.
Oh, fuck, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't
look, good start to the match, good heat from The End. And this was okay. It didn't blow my dress up. Is that a saying? I don't know. But right at the end there, the ferocity on that 450, what a great finish to the match. And very interesting to see JTG and Dirty Dango, as he's going by now, the former Fandango, show up looking for a shot at the tag team championship. What did you think of this one, bro?
Look, I actually thought this match was tremendous as well, man. Once again, we have two tag teams that actually look and act like a tag team, and they're coordinated. And The End really impressed me, man. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to keep up with, the two luchas. But, ultimately they did. I thought that they kept toe-to-toe with them and kept the pace up throughout the entire thing. And I was really impressed to see two guys of that size sort of keeping up a relatively fast pace. I like the fact that we had lucha libres here, but we didn't have them doing 5 million different types of dives and stuff. Once again, they worked it into the match at places where it was appropriate. Yeah, there was one or two occasions towards the end where they did some more spectacular lucha libre stuff, but at that point, you can forgive a bit of that, because by that stage we're reaching the top of the mountain and we're about to hit that peak heading towards the finish of the match. So yeah, tremendous work, and I'd give it a B- overall. I would honestly really like to see a rematch between these two teams. I think that there was some chemistry between the two teams.
Yeah, very good, bro. And just to fix my mistake from earlier, The End teamed with Da Pope against Tyrus, the Masked Man, which was Cyon, and Jordan Clearwater at NWA 73, and La Rebellion did defeat Aron Stevens and Kratos to
there we go.
titles. So there we go. That's why I got it mixed up, because they were both on the same show and it was a little while ago. Anywho, moving forward, bro. probably one of the matches of the show here. Nick Aldis, the former world's champion, taking on his former best friend, Thomas Latimer. I always love when the former best friends have that first battle to see where this is going to go. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, like as you said, time-tested wrestling angle. The best friend that's sick of living in the shadow of the champion, the leader of the pack, finally rises up. They added the personal element. Mentioned the fact that these two were real-life best friends, that they're intrinsic to each other's careers, up to this point. And the match itself, man, you're right. Definitely was one of the matches of the show. I feel like, the highest compliment I can give is that you could have taken this match between Nick Aldis and Tom Latimer, and you could have stuck it on SmackDown. You could have stuck it on Nitro. You could have stuck it on ECW. You could have stuck it on pay-per-view. Like, it could have fit anywhere. You could have stuck it on Ring of Honor. I could see it in MLW. Like, it's just the kind of match that was so well executed at all points that I feel like you could have stuck it into any product, any card in the world, and it would be an entertaining match that would draw. I can't really think of much of a higher compliment to give the match, but it really impressed me. It set a pace that the NWA product is not currently known for, as we've alluded to before. They're very much more a story-oriented product where it kind of takes time to unfold and everything breathes a little bit more. There was definitely a very welcome sense of urgency to what Aldis and Latimer were doing. The pace was a lot more frenetic. It was more akin to something that you would see on a WWE pay-per-view in the early 2000s than what we're used to normally seeing on the NWA as far as a match goes. And I mean that in a complimentary way. It really, it had that edge to it, that personal feel to it that I, really sort of set it apart from the rest of the card. And, the quality of the wrestling itself was almost just the icing on the cake to an expertly told story, in my opinion.
Excellent, bro. Yeah, fantastic stuff here. I love that when we watched the hype package, we popped for the fact that when something horrible happened to Nick, there's Tim Storm. There's Tim Storm to make sure everything's okay. He's there. He's first on the scene.
He's had a history.
He's such a great guy, bro.
Him and Nick Aldis, they didn't always get along. They feuded over that NWA championship, but there's Tim Storm, always the stand-up guy, looking after Mickie James when she was worried about her husband, Nick Aldis.
Absolutely.
Up for it huge. Love Tim Storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Good friend of the show, bro.
Yeah.
Love the jackknife pin for the victory. Love that it wasn't a clear-cut victory. It was just like a surprise victory, meaning that this is going to lead to more. This is going to get to some more hectic violence. And also that's sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, like I was just going to say, good point with the jackknife. Sometimes all you need to finish a match is like, oh, he caught one on him. Yeah. And then it's like, next chapter. That's
it, bro. And also strike one for the use of the word intrinsic. Thank you.
Oh, come on, man. It's an accurate. No. It's appropriate.
No. Thank you. Oh, I said thank you. Okay, moving forward, bro. Nice little segment here. A tribute to the one and only Jazz. I was really chuffed to see her get this opportunity. I know that they done something similar with Kong. I don't know if it was by any means necessary or I don't know, but they did something nice for her because she had retired. So now they're doing it again here for Jazz, who's been looking to retire for some time, but she kept getting booked and having opportunities here and there. But I think now she's finally settled, and ready to sail off into the sunset. What did you think of this, man? It's so nice to see someone that never gets the fucking chance to just have the floor and fucking talk and talk from their heart, right?
Well, I absolutely agree with that 100%. I also just love in general the fact that NWA is taking the time to okay, this person's not under contract to one of the major companies. Let's bring them on here and give them a bit of a platform. I thought that this was one of the best retirement speeches I've ever seen for a wrestler. I thought that it was classy. It was dignified to the highest degree. I thought that it was absolutely, a real nice touch that all the ladies from the locker room came out to the ringside, not just to clap at the end, but actually come out there and listen to the speech. And you could see that, it really was meaningful to a lot of them. It wasn't just something that had been scripted for them to do. It really was a genuine moment. And, once again, Jazz talked for maybe about 5-6 minutes, somewhere around there. It felt like that. Didn't feel like it went for long, but again, she talked about her and Rodney Mack, the strength of their relationship, their love for each other that, she feels has helped guide her through her career. Told a story about, each of them both working different shift work and then, him nudging her awake at 10:30 p.m. to go to the gym and squeeze a workout in between both of their hectic work schedules. That's doing it tough. That is apropos for this event, which is called Hard Times. And yeah, this was actually one of my favorite parts of the entire show, man. I really, really loved it.
Yeah, man. It's like, look, WWE, you're not watching.
You never will.
Next Hall of Fame, okay, if you're not putting Victoria in, put this woman in. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
She worked her fucking ass up all the way from ECW where there were no real women really like to wrestle. She was wrestling Simon Diamond every week. She was wrestling all the guys all the time. She was just like someone else on the roster. You can talk about inclusion. Of all places, ECW were doing it first. Worked her ass off all those years. WWE, main event of WrestleMania, as a women's champion, bro. Was the last WWF women's champion, first WWE women's champion. A lot of people, they go on about the women's revolution all the time.
Yeah.
And then these names that always get left out when WWE put their narrative out there. She deserves the fucking honor.
Like, I want to say this, people are going to say this is a bold statement. You absolutely would not have Trish Stratus as she became known, the legend that became Trish Stratus. There'd be no Trish Stratus without Jazz. Jazz was the one that was working with her every night through all those years while she was developing into who Trish Stratus became as a talent. Jazz was the one that was having those matches. Trish was really being put through her paces by Jazz and Victoria. Like a lot of people always talk about Trish versus Lita. You wouldn't have had those matches if Trish and Lita respectively hadn't been busted up in the ring mega by Jazz and Victoria beforehand. I strongly believe that Jazz, Victoria, and especially in this case Jazz, are a big part of why Trish and Lita are the founders of the women's revolution today.
Yeah, and look, this is a big call for me, but I think Trish Stratus is probably the best women's wrestler of all time, as far as I'm concerned. I know Charlotte's right there too, and Medusa's right there too, but I've always admired Trish and her body of work and what she's done. If Trish is Hogan, then Jazz is Roddy Piper. I'm just going to throw that one out there. I think she was the perfect heel for that Trish Stratus character, like two completely opposing kind of characters, two different people from different backgrounds. But Jazz was the bitch, bro. I love when she I think she got injured once, and when she came back, she attacked Trish, attacked a bunch of the women, and then got on the mic and said, "The bitch is back." I love that. Much respect to her, bro.
Yeah.
And you said a word earlier. What was it? A popo or a
apropos.
Apropos. What the fuck does that mean?
So it means that it's appropriate for her to talk. Like in that case, I was saying it's appropriate for her to talk about how difficult things were when she was coming up as a wrestler because the event's called Hard Times.
Apropos, right? Strike two. Moving forward, NWA Women's World Championship. The Burke. I love it. Kamille, my home girl, taking on the one and only Melina. Take it away, bro. What did you think of this one here?
Yeah, there's not even that much to say, and I mean that in a positive way. I'm going to give this match a B+. It was tremendous. I honestly, man, it boggles my mind that Melina hasn't spent even more time in WWE because to me, she is still just a premium performer, female performer in the business. And I was left shaking my head. I just couldn't understand why she's not in a more prominent position unless it's by her own choice. If it's not by her own choice, that's a profound disappointment. Anyway, as it comes to this match, I thought that Melina's the perfect opponent for Kamille at this point in her career. You know, Melina has just been wrestling since, I think she's been wrestling since about 1998 or something like that. You know, she's been working for quite a long time. You know, late 90s, early 2000s, that kind of period. And I feel like you've got a wrestler like Kamille that we know she's got the raw talent, the raw athleticism, but she hasn't really been able to put all the pieces together as far as great matches with other women. You know, the matches are all right, but I still think that there are a few pieces to that puzzle that she's still putting together as she develops as a performer. And I just think Melina is the perfect opponent to help her do that. And I thought that Melina's selling, especially her facial expressions and her vocalizations, were pitch perfect in this match. And they added a lot of drama, which is missing from AEW, certainly, and is almost even missing a lot of the time from WWE women's matches. You know, hearing people yell, scream, vocalize, seeing the anguish on their face, that really makes a world of difference. You don't see it done to that degree as often as we should anymore. So I wanted to credit Melina on that. Overall, fabulous little women's title match here.
Yeah, bro, definitely. One note, the woman was on her phone again throughout this match. Fuck, enough.
Get off of
but
it.
One thing that's a massive plus for this match was, like, I go into this thinking Camille's going over. She's retaining. But they got me. They got me. I thought at one stage that Melina was going to pick up the victory. So kudos to them both for getting me. It's not often that happens. Usually you can see where things are going. So, you know, I really enjoyed that. I honestly, I thought this was the best match on the show, and that's not me being biased because I love Kamille, but I honestly was watching and I was like, this is the best drama on the show. Like, I really enjoyed Aldis and Latimer, but this had more drama to it because there were moments where I didn't know who was going to win, you know. Whereas I feel like with Aldis and Latimer, I didn't get that as much. But
no, I definitely felt like Aldis would win that match, and he did.
Yeah,
that was an
you know,
FGC all the way.
That's it. And Kamille, you know, NWA 73, she beat Chelsea Green by any means necessary. She beat Kenzie Page 2-0 in a 2 out of 3 falls match. She beats Melina here. They need to find a real strong contender to come up against her. I'm liking the run. I want it to keep going for a little bit longer, but whoever it is that's going to take that belt from her, this is going to be a big moment. Moving forward, bro. Main event of the evening, the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship is on the line on internet pay-per-view on Fight TV in 2021 with Mike Knox challenging the world champion Trevor Murdoch. Who would have fucking thought that this would ever be a thing, bro?
Not me.
Unbelievable. But when I heard that it was announced, I was pumped because I knew here's an opportunity for two guys. Again, Trevor's already proven it, but here's an opportunity for Mike Knox to go out there and show what he could have done if he was given those opportunities in a bigger company like WWE. So I was pumped about that. Murdoch, I'm into him as champion. I love his theme song. His working punch is sick. This was two big bulls going at it, bro. So a nice bit of drama here. There wasn't much time left in the show, so this only went about 12 minutes or so, but that's all it really needed. Murdoch gets the win with the Bulldog off the top. So we'll talk about what happened after the match after this. But what did you think, bro, of the main event here for the World Championship?
So, you know what? The analogy that I would use, and I say this in, I was using it in reference earlier in a conversation to talk about Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania a few years back, but I'll use it for this match too. It didn't go for very long as a main event world heavyweight title match, but it's like a first round knockout in a heavyweight title boxing match. It's a flame that burns bright and burns out quickly because it's been burning so hot. That is what I feel like we got in this match here. We got something that was, so fast and furious, so high impact, so much power and so much weight being thrown around by these two big bulls that, it was only ever going to go for 10, 12 minutes max, because how are they going to keep the gas tanks going for much longer?
Yeah.
That is exactly the kind of thing that you need for main events. You don't need every main event to be a 60-minute Broadway or a 30-minute Broadway or a 2 out of 3 falls. Occasionally, the champ needs to roll into town, take on another big motherfucker that thinks, I'm just as big and tall as you. I'm just as big and strong as you. I've kicked just as many asses as you. I want to take that belt. Well, I'd like to see you try. Boom. They have a fight. 10 minutes over. The dust is settled. And the champ gets his hand raised. That is exactly what we see here. Classic Wrestling 101. And it is an example of a foregone conclusion that we don't necessarily dislike, because a champion, in order to be a strong champion, needs to beat opponents. As you alluded to earlier, mega pleasant surprise seeing Mike Knox back in the ring in 2021 in this position. I thought he looked great. It's once again, and we'll get to it when we talk about what happened afterward, another example of just the modern day territory system, people just going in and out of different places and making appearances for different organizations. Mike Knox in the NWA did his job really well here. I loved the feud that they actually set up, making it personal between him and Trevor Murdoch. And I loved the payoff between these two big bulls, having a knockdown drag out to end this show. And I'd give the match itself an A-, man. I really enjoyed it, and I'm giving it high marks.
Excellent, bro. And of course, afterwards, Murdoch is celebrating, and who would show up but Matt Cardona? And I know that you were a little bit like, Cardona comes out. He's, looking at Trevor, congratulating. Trevor's not happy with his presence. He gets low blowed by Mike Knox. Out comes Mick Foley. Foley brings out, I guess, I kind of thought it came out of left field. I was like, why the Pope of all people? Because I thought he was already doing this thing with Tyrus. But anyway, the Pope comes out. He attacks Cardona, throws him into the stairs. Apparently he goes limp, and apparently he gets taken to the hospital, not at work.
Yeah, so we want to send our best wishes out to him as well.
Absolutely, bro. And then obviously Cardona gets in the ring. Murdoch is down after that low blow, and he kind of allows Mike Knox to lay him out with a kick to the fucking head. And then Matt Cardona looks at that NWA World's Heavyweight Championship and places it on Trevor Murdoch to end the show. What did you think of all this business?
Loved it. It's ex WWE talent. It's ex TNA / Impact talent. It's ex MLW talent. It's Ring of Honor talent, both former and current. And they're all, it's AEW talent, former and sometimes current. And they're all converging, in this one product, which simultaneously is trying to perform an old school brand of wrestling. So it's just such a refreshing and yet interesting and different feeling product to see all these different people from all these different eras of wrestling, whether it be the Ruthless Aggression era or whether it be, more recent times. And we're seeing them all come together to pull off this old school style of wrestling storytelling. And it just works for me, and it's tremendous. And the reason I bring that up here is because this segment that ended the show here was a microcosm of that for me. It was, for me, everything that I love about the NWA currently. Like at this point in time, I really do feel like even though it's an old school product that respects the tradition of wrestling, it still gives me the sense of like anything can happen. Like there were several things on this show that genuinely like surprised me, and where I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming, wow. And this was one of them. And Cardona can be a bit hit and miss for me, but I think that he'll be a very nice counterpoint for Trevor Murdoch as a championship opponent. So I'd have to say I'm definitely interested in seeing that. But I would also love to see, say, Murdoch and Pope taking on Cardona and Mike Knox. Something like that as well would also be a match that I'd get excited about. Anyway, I'd give the main event, I don't know if I already said it, but I'd give it an A-. And a DJ recommendation, go out of your way, check this one out. I can't really do it justice, no matter how much I want to talk.
Excellent, bro. You almost got strike 3 there with microchasm, but I let it slide because I think you've used that word before. But bro, I think that this is a good show. Yes, some good surprises, some people showing up. This is what I like when it's a pay-per-view. I want to see some debuts. I want to see some people show up. I want to see some surprises. I like it. I like it. I like it. Time to give us your rating out of 10.
Yeah, I would go ahead and give this show an 8 out of 10. I think I've given a couple of 8 out of 10s recently. You know what? This was another tremendous show. Really enjoyed it. Not an all-time classic show. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to like rewatch it again necessarily, but as a one-time viewing, tremendous show.
Excellent, bro. I will give it a 7.5 out of 10. I once again really enjoyed the NWA pay-per-view here, just as much as I enjoyed NWA 73. And I like that the show ended with heat, bro. So there it is, our review of NWA Hard Times 2, baby.
You want me doing some hard time, punk?
That's it, bro. Let everyone know out there where they can find you.
Yeah, fucking everywhere, man. Like I'm on fucking Twitch at Jooseyboy. Help me get to affiliate. I'm on YouTube. Subscribe to me. YouTube.com/Jooseyboy. I'm on fucking Twitter at Jooseyboy. I got a page on Facebook, Jooseyboy. Like it, although I rarely ever fucking post on there. And of course, if you follow the WZWA network social media, you can catch up with my antics on there as well. And just in case you don't know how to spell that word, Jooseyboy, that spelling is JOOSEYBOY. That's fucking Juicy Boy. And I'll see you on social media, folks.
Why get so aggressive at the end? And I'm Karlifornia. You can find me on Twitter at Karlifornia WZWA. That's the only thing you can find me on. That's KARLIFORNIAWZWA. Please follow us here on YouTube. Please follow us on all the platforms. All you need to type in is WZWA Network. And also, if you go onto the Ryzen Network, RIZON, on IRC chat and go into the chat room, #wrestling, a great bunch of people there to catch up with and talk wrestling with.
Yeah.
Some good
and
shit.
now I was just going to say, Carl, just in case you ever have any trouble remembering that the Ryzen Network, think about it this way. Velvet Sky's voice on commentary was causing something to be rising in my pants.
Excellent, bro. Excellent. It is now 1:23 a.m. We're both ludicrously tired. I want to thank you all out there for watching the WZWA Network's review show here of NWA Hard Times 2, baby. I'm Karlifornia alongside motherfucking Jooseyboy, and we will see you down the road.
Yeah.